Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard Ortiz.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Voice
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. With us today, we have with us the one, the only from Fresno, California, the undefeated, defending WBC amateur champion, and that's Donovan Lights Out LEWS. Before I introduce him to come on the show, we're going to talk about some topics that'll be coming up. I'm going to get Donovan's take on the big fight coming up next week, and that's Canelo and Charlo, Las Vegas, Nevada, live. I'm also going to get a take on the Dallas Cowboys and see, are they really America's team? Are they going to do it this year? Are they going to fall short? What's really going on? I'm also going to get his take on the Dodgers in first place. They captured their division, but that doesn't mean World Series. But I want to make sure everything's in line and get the expertise of the one, the only Mr. Lights Out. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest who came off a victorious victory over Medrano, Jose Medrano, the Destroyer from Bakersfield, PD, took away that O. He had to go the distance, had to earn every round. And I want to ask him, like I asked him before, was this your toughest fight? Ladies and gentlemen, enough said. Donovan Lights Out LEWS. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice, my man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. What's going on?
So how are you holding up, man? I mean, you just come off 3 hard rounds, taking body shots, taking head shots, delivering them yourself. What was that Monday like after your victory?
Oh, I felt fine. My right hand was a little bit sore because I was throwing a lot of right hands and stuff, trying to knock his head off. But other than that, I felt good. You know, just another day in the gym.
Now, when you work out and you do some sparring, how many days does it take for your body to be 100%? Is it a little different coming off a fight because you go 100%, or do you go 100% during sparring and once you go, and we'll talk about the back cave?
Right. So as far as training, we're always grinding. I mean, I can't even say that I was 100% in that fight just because all of the wear and tear. You know, when we're in the gym, we're protecting one another, but at the same time, we're trying to punish one another. We're trying to toughen each other up. So I was sore going into the fight. You know, I'm sure Quinnell was sore going into the fight. Vic was sore going into the fight because, you know, when we go to the gym, like I said, we take care of each other. You know, if somebody's needing to take a knee, we let them take that knee. But when they get back up, you know, we go 110%. So, you know, it's hard to say. You know, I can't remember the last time I was 100%. You know, I'm 30 years old. I played football at Fresno State. I had 3 surgeries there. Then I went on and joined the police force. And in 2019, I got in a major car accident and had a major shoulder surgery and some back issues. And so I haven't been 100% in a really long time. But I just fight through it and you know, and try to make the best of my situation.
Donovan, what drives you? Where do you get it from?
You know, my family growing up, you know, as a kid, we played outside, you know, we weren't inside. We weren't playing, iPads and stuff like that. We were outside and playing football in the street, you know, doing crazy BMX biking, making jumps we shouldn't have made, jumping off the roof of the house into the swimming pool. We just did crazy things growing up. And, you know, I'm always moving. I'm always trying to be involved. I'm always trying to do something exciting. It's just in my DNA. You know, I can't stay static and just work. You know, that's just, to me, it's boring. You know, I don't want to just work. I have to have something to strive for. Also, I have two children. I have a fiance, and
That's right.
you know, with my boys, I want them to see that you know, my dad's got it. You know what I mean? I want them to see that, you know, when football was over, he didn't hang his head low and just go into the, you know, the workforce. He he stepped up, went to the workforce, and he's able to provide for his family. But at the same time, he's still striving and trying to achieve some of the goals that he has on his list. So, I'm just trying to set that example for my two boys.
And you're doing a great job. Were they at the event?
No, they didn't make the event. My youngest, he's approaching 2 years old, and then my oldest, he's 4. He's in school. We're just kind of waiting on primarily his maturity level to get a little bit higher in terms of what I don't want is him coming to my fight, seeing me punching people, and then when I take him to school, he starts punching kids or something like that. So I don't think his maturity level's there just yet to understand that, hey, this is a sport. So we're holding off. Maybe sometime next year we'll be able to get him in there because that's when I plan on introducing him to wrestling and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
there you
I
go.
just don't want to be dropping him off at daycare and he's throwing, left hooks and uppercuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. But like you said, it's in that DNA, and the apples don't fall far from the tree, as they say.
No, they don't.
Once
Right,
again, Donovan, No Town Throwdown #7 was a success. It was a sold out event. Once again, props to promoter Ernie Hyman, put on a great event. Everybody there brought their A game, including myself, Co Escovedo, commentating the fight. Just knowing that it was going to live up to all the magnitude, and it did. There was a lot of hype going in earlier uh, before the event took place. I had Jose Madrano on the show, very confident, and he
right,
went through an extreme camp, to prepare himself for you. The likes of Wild Card Jim, the likes of Freddie Roach,
right,
sparring with an Olympian, undefeated heavyweight, top ranked fighter, and that's Richard Torres Jr. So he pulled out all the
right,
stops, all the bells and whistles, as if to say, "Hey, I don't want to leave any stone unturned because I'm getting in the ring with a man that has never faced defeat, a man that has rarely lost even a round going into this." And like I told you after the fight,
right.
you seem to be the hometown hero, that guy. Donovan, why are you that guy? And why does one prepare himself and torture himself and go through extremes to prepare himself to go to war with you?
You know, it's funny. My dad sent me a message a couple months ago out of the blue, and it said, it's hard to be D. Lou." And it kind of caught me off guard. Like, why would he randomly send me a message? It's hard to be D. Lou. And then he continued. I responded, and then we messaged, and you know, he was just telling me uh, how proud he is of me in terms of the things that I'm doing,
Exactly.
taking care of my family. I work, and I know Madrano does too. He's doing the same deal. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure he's in some type of a gang unit or something like that. So I know he's working a lot. I'm doing at least 60 hours a week, taking care of my boys. Taking one, they both go to school. My fiance's in a nursing program, so she gets up at 3:45, 3 days a week, and drives out to Visalia to knock out that and her homework and study time. And I'm in the busiest season of my life. Um, I really am, and but I find a way to get it done. So I think that's what he means. It's hard to be D. Lou because you know I got so much going on, and I accept it, and I get the job done regardless of what's going on around me. So um, I prepare. I stay ready. There's no oh, I got a fight coming up. I'm going to start training here. And then, no, we're always training. I'll be in the cave this week, and next week and the week after that, just for that, phone call. If they say, hey, we got this event coming up, that way I can, agree to do it, because it's exciting. I like doing it. It brings my family together. Prior to me boxing, the last time I was able to get all my family together was when I was playing ball at state. So now it's something for them to come together and just have a good time.
Very well said.
Have a good time.
Exactly. I mean, you seem to be that link, that jewel that brings everybody together. Let's talk about that WBC belt that you earned. It looks nice. Without one of the pictures,
Right.
that link, it seems empty, and you seem to be one that brings everybody together, as you just stated, when you played football. Does
Right.
that mean a lot to you when your family's there 100% to support you?
Yeah, it means the world to me. It lets it lets me know that they still care about my ambitions and the things that I want to do. It reinforces that I still have to take care of myself too. I'm so busy taking care of others, and believe me, yeah, we do the boxing to give back, and I know they gave some proceeds
Yeah.
to the Selma officer in this event, and other types of the Scanlon family at one point in the event that I did. Um, but make no mistake, I fight to decompress too, and it's a part of it is for me as well. So for my mental and my peace. So um, it just like I said, you know, in response to your question, it's just nice to know that my family supports uh, something that I still want to do, even though I have two boys of my own. And a lot of times parents are so fixated and focused on the kids that they forget to take care of themselves. So uh, I like taking care of myself in this way. Even though I'm getting hit, believe me, to me, I'm taking care of myself.
Exactly. I saw the fight. I knew what happened. I knew it was a very close fight, very exciting fight. Lived up to all the hype, all the expectations. Um, going into that fight, was your camp different at all? I know you heard the rumors. Hey, this guy's sharp. This guy's really taking it serious. This guy's training here. He's training there. Did it affect your mindset as if to say, okay, I'm going to make sure I take this even more serious. I'm going to do something extra that I didn't do in my other camps. And I know I tried to get you on that week, and it was fight week, and I 100% respected it that you just wanted to stay focused. Because I asked around, and I was told, hey, he made one call and said, do you need to talk to me? Because it's fight week, and I'm going to go into, my mindset.
Right. Yeah. So um, that was again, like I was like just like I shared previously. I'm in the busiest season of my life, so um, um, I constantly train with Coach Williams and my team on a regular basis to stay ready because this camp came so quickly. And with all the things that I have going in the background, I didn't train as much as I would have liked to. I got the sessions in, I got some rounds in. I went over to Alamans and I worked with Brian Hall and then there's another fellow, Larry Gonzalez. He does the MMA with my brother out of Dethrone,
Yeah.
and so I got the rounds that I needed. Um, but had it not been for me already staying in the gym, my camp wouldn't have been exactly what I would have wanted. So I did have a good camp. It was a healthy camp, but um, initially I didn't feel as prepared as I needed to be because I didn't know Madrano. I didn't know what he was doing. You hear about the wild card, and yeah, it's just a gym. It's a Mayweather gym too, and I could go walk in there and do some rounds. Doesn't mean I'm a some super fighter now just because I went to Floyd's gym. Um, and there's nothing that really compares to the back cave. I tell you, anybody that's been there, um, 95% of the people that walk in, they don't come back, and there's a reason. It's hot. I mean, it's hot. It's it's a tight squeeze, so there's no running and there's no shuffling and leaning on the ropes. There's none of that. You have to fight, and when you can't fight, you have to take a knee. So and then get back up and then fight again. Or if you don't get up, you got to leave the gym and don't come back until you're ready to fight. So it's very very uh, it's like severe conditions, very severe conditions. Then you have Evan Solario. I know he's been on your show before,
Yeah.
and he doesn't care. There's no in between with Evan. It's either he's not fighting, he's sitting down, or if he's fighting, he's 100% and he's trying to hurt you. So that gym is very unique, um, and it builds some tough people, and that's why we went 4-0 because we have a lot of heart. we're not going to roll over for anyone.
I like one of your stablemates, Q. I mean, the guy's built like
Yeah,
a truck, and he just lets those meat hooks go. And another very well conditioned athlete. They come different shapes and sizes, but you guys all, I notice, have that mentality that when one walks in the ring, you
yeah,
guys are all there, as if to say, a part of me is in that ring with you.
right. Yeah, and those, like I said, we hold each other accountable. Um, Q's never been kicked out the gym. Vic's never been kicked out the gym. Uh, I've been kicked out the gym when I first got there in 2018 because I went in there and I got my butt beat up. They tore me up. Coach B put me in with Joey Lopez at the time, Evan, Chris, and himself, and they messed me up, dude. And I didn't know if it was for me. And then it took about 2 months for me to say, you know what, I need to go back. And I went back and I sucked it up and I learned the craft, and I haven't left since. So now Q and Vic are some tough guys, and Vic's been boxing since he was a kid. I mean, there's a photo in Brian's gym of Vic when he was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, fighting out at Frank's gym. So and Cornell, yeah, just like you said, he's actually he does the men's physique stuff. So he's a bodybuilder. Um, he's really a bodybuilder, and
Yeah.
he's all muscle. He's just a muscle head. So all of his opponents are punching him, but they don't realize that he's not hurting. None of those punches are doing any damage. What hurts Q is conditioning, pacing himself, but it's not his opponent that's hurting him. Not at all. Not a chance.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's. I hope he's amused by it. And there were some people in the crowd, and they said, "Who's that?" And somebody in the crowd goes, "Look, Carlton's fighting from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air." And it didn't dawn on me until I kind of looked at him, and I could see the resemblance a little bit, But yeah, yeah. So I hope he takes that lightly and cracks a smile
Uh,
when he hears that.
I never heard that. I'm gonna tell him when I see him.
There you go. But,
I haven't heard that one in the
yeah,
Carlton one.
we'll let him know that someone in the crowd said that. So I'm just repeating what they said.
No
Yeah,
worries.
because he's
Yeah,
gonna
he'll
say,
just
"Hey,
laugh.
Rich, I'm looking for you now, man."
Nah, he's a comedian himself. So
Let's talk about Shant, who was also in your corner. Uh,
yeah,
Played a big role, major role. He was in there, and I believe after that first round, kind of gave you a scolding, kind of just told you, "Hey, man, let's go, let's turn it up." I couldn't hear everything, but I can
right,
tell the intensity was there. What was that conversation like after that
right.
first round? And we're gonna break down the fight too.
Yeah, no, the first round, there was really no concern or worry. What they said is they liked my composure because yeah, Madrano was throwing more punches, and he definitely, he took that round. Um, but a lot of it was me feeling him out. And actually, I like that because we came into this fight thinking it was going to be 3 2-minute rounds, 3 2-minute rounds.
Yeah,
So it wasn't until we were in the back with the ref and he said, no, it's going to be 3 3s. And I don't know if the rules changed or what, or if we've been fighting by the wrong. I don't know. But all of my previous amateur bouts have been 3 2-minute rounds. So with that knowledge, though, I like the idea because it gave me more time to fill this guy out. I knew I had 3 minutes to play with in that first round, and then I had 6 minutes to turn it up and win the fight. So um, all Sean told me was, "Hey, I like your composure, but you got to, you need to start jabbing, and you need to start picking up your pace. You need to start throwing some punches because, you know, Madrano was throwing a lot of, you know, pity pat stuff is what I call it. Just a lot of punches that weren't doing anything, but it looks good, right? If you're a judge, you're seeing it. It looks good. It looks like you're winning. The fans may think it's hurting, but there was a lot of pity pat stuff, and I couldn't let that dictate the fight. I needed to start putting some pressure on him, throwing some punches, uh, and being active.
let's recall that you landed one big shot. What shot or what punch stands out throughout that whole fight? Maybe we're talking about the same punch. I'll tell you what I saw.
Well, there was a few. So I know even in that first round that he won, I caught him with a left hook because he kept throwing that pity pat body stuff. And for me, you know, it's funny. I was watching the fight and I was listening to you guys broadcast, and you're like, "Oh, it's like Lewis doesn't even care if he's getting hit in the stomach," and it's true. I didn't care because it didn't hurt, and my thing is he's gonna feel me. So if he wants to continue to throw body shots, that's fine. I get hit in the body by Chris Lewis. I get hit in the body by Evan Solario. I get hit in the body by Brian Williams. I get hit in the body by Quinnell Atkins and Victor Ebal, and they all hit harder than him. So I'm not worried about that. So I was like, you can have that if you want it. I'm going to throw these hooks. And I continued to throw them because they were there. And I know I caught him with some good left hooks. I know I caught him with a solid straight right. And I squeezed an uppercut in there. But it was mainly hooks. I was catching him with hooks. He couldn't figure out that left hook. He just kept his hands down. He kept dropping his hands.
You talked about an uppercut. I was actually talking about that uppercut. I saw you land that uppercut. You had him in the corner. And I also like the lead right hand that you had, the little short right hand. I think I talked.
Yeah, they don't expect that lead right. They don't expect it. They think that you're just gonna reset and go back to your jab, but they're not ready for me to come back with the two.
They think the right's coming right after the jab to set it up, but no, that little lead right hand, it has some pop on it, man, and especially when you turn that shoulder. There was some talking going on in there. I saw you guys back and forth. What exactly did he say? What did you say? Do you recall any of that? Because I saw some back and forth.
I just remember I had loaded up to throw a right hand, and I didn't gauge the distance properly, so I held back. I didn't let it go when I was getting ready to throw it. And had I thrown it, it would have missed, and I would have been way off balance. So I'm glad I didn't throw it. But when I was going to, he saw me loading up, and he basically was just like, "Duh, like you're not gonna catch me with that," or something like that. It was something to that effect, and it kind of just woke me up a little bit, made me smile, and I was like, you know what, I'm about to go get this guy because he's. I don't know if he's having too much fun, and I can't let the judges think that he's having fun. He needs to look like he's, drowning in the ocean or something. So I had to get after.
What did you have some fun in there?
Yeah, I had fun. Like at the beginning of this deal, you said this guy, my toughest opponent, and he's. I almost want to say a tie. I don't know if you remember. I fought the other Medrano, so Diego Medrano, back in 2018.
Big dude.
Diego, the big guy, the 300-pound dude.
I remember that at the Tower.
Yeah, I fought him at Tower, and he was a big guy, and I couldn't just stay in the pocket with him. I had to move around, so I did a lot of moving. And I remember he hit me. He caught me with a right hand in there, and I felt it. And I didn't want to be in that pocket with him. That's the truth. I didn't want to be in the pocket with him. I had to move and stick and move. So it's hard to say, but I would say out of Diego Medrano and Jose Medrano, those were definitely my two toughest opponents. But if I had to, because my thing is if I put Diego Medrano in the ring versus Jose Medrano, I think Diego Medrano beats Jose Medrano. See what I'm saying? So it's hard to say. And in 2018, I wasn't nearly as good as I am now. The Donovan Lewis today beats up the Donovan Lewis from 2018. So it's all,
experience.
It's all timing. It's experience. So, yeah. So,
listen, rumors are flying already. I'm hearing you guys are running it back. I talked to Medrano, and he said, we're running it back, but in Bakersfield. And then I'm hearing that you guys are going to run it back on another show. I'm hearing different things, and I'm hearing that you're going to run it back on No Town Throwdown 8. But now I'm hearing that this is what I'm hearing, that there's going to be another show that you guys are going to run it back on that show. If for some reason Medrano gets his hand raised after that bout, you're going to run it back a third time on the No Town Throwdown number 8. But I'm hearing rumors that you guys are going to throw down again on another venue, on another promotion.
So I've heard something similar too. So Dr. Bautista, he's throwing an event out at Table Mountain on December 1st, and I had a conversation with him the other day, and it's primarily It's primarily being thrown because he wants to be able to give back to active law enforcement officers, and I imagine retired law enforcement officers as well. He's done some studies and done some research, and it shows that uh, cops that get heart attacks are more susceptible to dying from their heart attacks than the normal person because of the stress that we endure while we're working. So I know that that's kind of the mission that he's trying to achieve. Um, how exactly he's going to give back? Is it going to be money, or is it going to be free, rejuvenation type of therapies or cryo and all that stuff that he
Yeah.
does? I don't know exactly how he's going to do it. He knows that. Maybe you get him on your show and he could specifically break it down. So I don't want to say anything that's inaccurate. But I do know that's what he wants to gear this next uh, event towards. And because I'm a law enforcement officer, and because of that, I'm more susceptible to heart attacks. And my dad is retired. My brother's a deputy. I'm 100% going to commit and fight on that card for Dr. Bautista because he does so much for the community, and he's helped me in the past, and I definitely owe him one. So I'll be fighting December 1st. Now, is it Jose Madrano? I don't know. I have not. Uh, uh, I have not heard that he's confirmed anything or agreed to it. Or I'm not going to Bakersfield. I know that. I'm not going to Bakersfield.
You're not going to
So
Bakersfield, huh?
he could.
Well, let's just
No,
make that
I'm not
clear. You're
going
not
out
going to
there.
Bakersfield.
No, what do I need to go to Bakersfield for? You know what I mean? Like, why do I need to go to Bakersfield?
Well,
Because it's not one of those things where it was a fight that was, it could have been a draw. And in my, because we're in Fresno, the judges deemed me as the winner. Yeah, that's some BS, right? I mean, I've seen that happen. I saw Brian Williams go up to Sacramento and fight that CDCR guy and tear him up, and they gave it to the CDCR guy. And anybody that knows Brian, if you get him, he'll let you know you got him. And I was there, I was ringside, and I saw it, and he did not lose that fight. So what's not going to happen is me go to Bakersfield and beat this guy, and they do some bogus stuff and give it to their guy. So, yeah, we could go somewhere else. Table Mountain is pretty neutral. That's not Fresno. That's Bryant. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We could go to Table Mountain. We could do the No Town Throwdown 8, maybe set it up in Visalia or something, but I'm not going to Bakersfield.
Hey, I heard that. You hold the strings. You hold the cards.
There's no
right now.
point. Yeah, there's no point.
No.
There's no point for me to go out there.
Donovan, you don't got one, but you got 2 WBC belts. I mean, and you
Yeah.
were in 2 that night. I mean, bro, if you get a 3rd or 4th one, we got to put it in the back of the podcast here, and we got to display it or something, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you just got. I mean, where do you have it right now at your house? Do you have it in a nice set area? Because I mean, that thing was beautiful.
Not yet. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. I want to find somebody that does like some type of a frame.
Yeah, there you go.
But they're heavy. The WBC belts aren't too heavy, but the ones that Ernie puts together, those are some solid, heavy
Those
belts
nice
that
belts.
that they are nice. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. So I'm trying to figure it out. I'm going to be creative, maybe get it framed up or something like that. But yeah, I got a lot of belts, man. I feel like Floyd without the money.
There you go. Exactly. There you go.
Feel like Floyd without the money,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's nice to have
No,
it.
you had 2 belts that night, and very well deserved and earned. I like the idea that you do want to run it back, that you're open to run it back. You talked a little bit about an event taking place in December. Yeah, I mean, Dr. Batista is a nice guy. He does give back to the community. I don't know. I don't have all the facts to that. I usually, am
Right.
informed of different things that's going on, but I respect it. I respect the fact that they're moving forward, with or without the fighter's voice, which is all good. I'm very supportive where I stand here, and I wish you well when that event takes place. And if it's Medrano, I wish him well as I did. I was neutral going into that fight,
Right.
and
Right.
may the best man win. But
Right.
what I do see in your future is a big event in Fresno. I mean, you seem to pack the house there. You seem to bring a following there. Brian brings all his fighters, and I also want to take my hat off and young Isidro Ochoa put together a
Oh
stable
yeah.
himself, and still has a
Right.
future in boxing in the ring as a professional. As you know, I believe he's like 7-1, only suffered one defeat, was with Top Rank
Right.
Boxing, but put together a nice stable, and they were very competitive in each fight. It wasn't like a fight was a blowout or what have you. And that's exactly
Right.
what Fresno needs. That's what Fresno desires. And you're part of that train moving forward. When it's all said and done, man,
Right.
how do you want to be remembered as far as the community of Fresno? I mean, do you want to run for mayor later? I mean, do you want to turn around and be a trainer? What exactly do you want to fulfill
Yeah.
in Fresno, California?
Well, again, if you asked me that question 4 years ago before my son was born, I'd be still trying to shoot for the Olympics, and I'd be trying to go pro and do all of these different things. Um, but right now, I'm living in the 24 hours that I'm in. I'm day by day, one day at a time. Um, it seems to be easier to manage than looking too far into the future. So, um, in terms of boxing, you know, I'd like to be remembered as at least the number one heavyweight law enforcement police officer, hopefully in the nation, because I don't think there's a cop in the nation that could beat me in a fight. I really
That's
don't.
right.
That's amateur, right?
Yeah,
There may be a professional cop out there who'll get me because they're pros. But in terms of amateur law enforcement boxing, and not just law enforcement boxing, because let me set the record straight. I fought more than just cops. I did the
hmm,
USA boxing. I was fighting non-police officers and winning. And Madrano was a police officer, but let's not mistaken, he was a Golden Gloves champion, and he's been boxing a lot longer than I have. So, um, I'd like to be remembered as at least the number one heavyweight law enforcement boxer of our time. Maybe somebody comes around later, maybe my son or something.
that's right.
Um, and no, I don't want to run for mayor. I have no aspirations to get into the political field, but I do want to, climb through the ranks at my police agency. I'd like to be able to promote and make some change and make things better here for the community of Fresno. So I have some ambitions and some goals, but a majority of them are gonna reside with the police department more so than boxing. I do this to give back and have fun and bring my people together, but at the same time, I have to consider the longevity, my health. Um, I don't want to be 50 and in a wheelchair. So
No, I agree. I agree. We're going to change it up a bit right now, but before I change it up, I want to say hello to all the sponsors that are out there. And if you want to be part of the Fighters Voice team and you want to sponsor the Fighters Voice, contact us on our YouTube. That's www.youtube.com/the Fighters Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. We'll pop your logo on. We'll dedicate segments to your business or whatever you want to promote. Just contact us here at the Fighters Voice. Donovan, there's going to be a fight taking place. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Huge fight. Charlo versus Canelo. Who do you have and why?
um, so just face value. Uh, Canelo stays ready. That guy's always ready. He's always training. He has composure. Uh, he brings calm to chaos, and he throws hard punches and he throws some disastrous body shots. So, and Charlo's been out the ring, right? He's been on a layoff, and to come back from a layoff and fight Canelo, with no tune-up, that's just it's a good decision from a financial standpoint,
Absolutely.
right? He's getting paid, but from a are you going to win standpoint, I don't think so. So I think Charlo loses. Um, in fact, I think Canelo. I don't think he knocks him out, but I think he wins by TKO, probably in the sixth, seventh round. I don't think he goes beyond the sixth or the seventh.
Wow. Wow. That's quite a prediction.
That's what I think. Charlos are tough.
Yeah.
I know they're tough brothers and those guys, but again, Canelo, um, he brings calm to chaos. Just because he hits you hard uh, doesn't mean you have to hit him back hard. And I think that's what's going to get Charlo. I think Canelo's going to catch him with some savvy stuff, and Charlo's going to lose his composure and tire himself out and lose by TKO. That's what I think.
Well, we're going to see exactly what happens. And, if it happens that way, then, man, then you're the man. I'm going to be asking you every time there's a big fight if you can predict
Yeah,
this
yeah.
exactly.
I could be wrong, but Canelo, he's a monster. That guy's a freaking monster.
He is,
So.
yeah. I agree. I think both men will leave everything in the ring, and I'm looking for an exciting fight. And I haven't yet gave an outcome. I kind of know what direction I'm going, but I will do so early next week. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team. A lot of people think the Patriots are. A lot of people think other teams should hold that title. What's your take? They're 2-0. The first time they've been 2-0, I believe, since 2018. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong. They just lost their starting corner, Diggs, number 7. ACL. Looks like he's out the entire year. I know you hear a lot from Coach B, Coach Brian, who's also a Cowboy fan. I'm not sure if you're a Cowboy fan or not, but I want your take. Are they America's team? Are they on their way to the Super Bowl? Do they have what it takes to get past that first playoff win, if they can get there?
To be quite honest, I haven't paid attention to football, and I can't remember how long. And again, that's part of what I was telling you earlier. I'm so dang busy. I can't even find time to watch a television show, or I don't even have cable. Let's be honest. I don't even have cable. I do Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. I don't even pay for
I
cable
heard that.
because it would be a waste of money. So, are they America's team? When I was playing, when I was paying attention, um, um, I wouldn't say they're America's team. I was never a Cowboys fan.
Who's your team?
But at the same time, I don't have a team, man. I was growing up and they were trying to force the Raiders on me, but they wouldn't win. I remember my dad would take me to Raider games to go barbecue with family. And it was nice. We got together with family and did the barbecue thing and stuff. But those guys cannot win a football game, and I don't run. I don't run with people that can't win. I'm here to win. I don't want to be a loser. So I really don't have a team. I have favorite players. Like I said, I played at State. Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the NFL. So I'm always supporting him.
Arguably, exactly that.
You know what I mean? So wherever he's at, yeah, he's on the Raiders, but wherever he's at, I know that he's going to put on a show, win or lose. Derek Carr, again, everything you see on TV is the truth. Derek is very, very humble. He has a heart for others. He's not selfish at all. And he really cares, So I know he had a lot of ups and downs with the Raiders organization, but I tell you what, win, lose, or draw, that guy was given 100%, regardless of the outcome. So those are people that I played with and that I continue to, keep up with and pay attention to. And it's good to see them doing really, really well for themselves.
Well, let's talk about one of my favorite players of all time in the NFL who made the transition to coaching and brought the same mentality that he once had once he would strut down the sidelines. He played both offense and defense, played 2 sports. And I'm talking about prime time. I'm talking about Deion Sanders, who's my personal favorite player. I just stood stagnant the 2 years of the year that he played with the 49ers, but I loved him when he was with Atlanta. When he was a Cowboy, man, I was just living. Believe me. Devoted man of God. Brought the same mentality now to coaching, and he's living a miracle right now, winning games that he should not win. On paper, should have gotten blown out. What do you think about the transition in his Colorado? Are they for real?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's something about Deion, and again, when he was playing, I was a little boy. You know what I mean? So there's things about Deion that he does that allow him to continue to be a winner. And those types of things are confidence, right? He's confident in himself, even when others are not. He cuts out the noise, right? I don't care what you're saying over here. I know what I'm going to do, and I know what I'm capable of. And he's brought a lot of that stuff from his playing days into his coaching. Yeah, he's humble. He's humbled himself to a degree, right? The guy doesn't cuss, and he doesn't cuss.
Yeah.
On one of his interviews, he kept saying "darn."
Yeah.
I don't give a darn. I don't darn. He kept saying "darn." And those are things that he's doing to make his representation and the way that he presents himself look better, right? Sounds like he's devoted to the church and to Christ and stuff like that. So those are things that help, elevate his reputation and the kind of person that he is. So Deion's just a winner. And if I was a player, I would love to play for that kind of a guy, because what's special about people like Deion is he's a player's coach. And what that means is he really cares about his players. We all know it's a business. We all know there's money involved. But Deion truly cares about the kids that he's coaching. And he wants to give them the best opportunity to be successful, whether that's moving forward into the NFL and or their future in other endeavors, right? He allows them to promote themselves, make money. Obviously you can make money while you're playing college ball. I saw a deal where he allowed his players to put their Instagram ads on their jerseys. So, my Instagram is @50Louis. So imagine if I was playing at Fresno State and I had @50Louis on my jersey and I'm running around and people are now following me,
Yeah.
right? So he's allowing his players to brand themselves. And as a player, that would make me feel valued.
Exactly.
100%. So anytime you have a leader that's going to make the people that they lead feel valued, they're going to win, in anything they do, whether it's a business, whether it's the police department, fire department. If your leader values you and shows you that he values you and doesn't just say it, doesn't just talk the talk and not walk the walk, he talks the talk and he walks the walk, then you're going to win. You're going to win football games. It's inevitable. You may not win every game, but you're going to win football games.
Well, they believe him in him, and he has that recipe, and he earned their respect by doing things like that. He's a nowadays coach like that. He's not a dinosaur. He knows what it takes to win. He knows he has two young athletes that are his kids as well. So he knows today's aspects. He knows today's wants and needs and likes and etc. And it's good to continue to educate yourself into what's happening today.
Right.
And what's happening today, man, is the Dodgers. They just won their division, man. Last year we had a great record, fell short of the World Series. I don't know if you follow baseball too much, man, but I got to talk about the Dodgers. And if you're not a baseball fan, we'll allow you to be a VIP Dodger fan. How does that sound?
Yeah, let me be a VIP Dodgers fan. Let's do that.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah, so I don't pay too much attention to baseball. I will be, because I'm going to encourage my son to play baseball. One of the reasons being is my fiance's uncle, Bradley Dandridge, is a fire chief. He is the fire chief of Santa Maria's fire department. He was a battalion chief here in Fresno about 6 months ago, prior to taking that fire chief job in Santa Maria. So I bring him up because he played for the Dodgers.
Oh, wow. Really?
At one point. And he's actually best friends with one of the MLB guys. I don't pay attention to that, but it was Adrian Beltre.
Oh, wow.
Is one of his best friends.
Wow.
So if you took the time to Google Bradley Dandridge and you hit images, you'll see him. He's right there, and he's got the Dodgers uniform on. So I appreciate you letting me be a Dodgers fan today.
Absolutely.
So I think it's pretty cool that I know a former Dodgers baseball player, So I'm hoping that I could get my kids involved, hope they enjoy it, and maybe get their Uncle Brad. We say Bapa because they're Filipino. Yeah. Bapa means uncle. Yeah. So get their Bapa Brad to train them and get them ready, because, man, those baseball players, their paydays are different.
Oh, yes, they are.
those guys get some money.
They get in 1 year what a lot of people get in years, and they just their paper's a little different
It's
nowadays, and
it's a little different. So if I could get my son to want to play baseball and get good at it, screw football at that point. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just, but whatever he wants to do, I'm just trying to encourage him to.
There you go. Well, let's give a
We're gonna
shout
put
out
him
to
in
your
everything
kids.
he does.
What are their names?
So Kendrick Lewis. So Kendrick James Lewis. His middle name is my dad is James Lewis. So Kendrick James Lewis. He's 4, and then Carter Bradley Lewis. So his middle name is Bradley for his papa Brad.
Like that.
So we're hoping. So we're hoping that they do some good things. Maybe Kendrick will be a police sergeant like his grandpa, and maybe Carter will be a firefighter like his papa Brad. So we're just trying to set an example, and that's why I put those specific middle names. That's why we gave them those specific middle names, and so they know that these are the people that they have to look up to, and these are the expectations. We're not getting in trouble. We're not going to jail. We're not using drugs. We're not out here wreaking havoc. We're making change. We're making a difference, and we're trying to be leaders ourselves. So that's why they have those names. They're named after strong men in our family.
Well, there you go. I say this a lot. Call things if they're not as if they are. That's what the Bible says. And I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Taking time, because your busy schedule, and you still made time. A lot of people want to hear from you. Wanted to hear your afterthoughts, and I hear these rumors about getting in the ring again, and I always appreciate you coming on the show. You're always a gentleman. You're always respectful when you come on the show. Appreciate your time in your fanfare, and Coach B. I got to get him on the show. I got to pick his brain a little bit about some upcoming fights, man. But those who don't know,
Yeah.
how can they follow you? What's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? What's your Twitter? What's your handle?
So I only have my Instagram. It's at 50Louis, at 50Louis. So FIVE and then an O and then LEWY. So 50Louis. I do that because they call police 50. So 50Louis.
There you go, man. There you go. Anybody special you want to give a
So
shout out to?
nope. Just I just wish I wish the best for everyone. And whatever it is you choose to do, just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. If you have plans and you want to get something done, just get it done. There's no one individual. My fiance, she's in the nursing program. Get the program done, babe, and let's get these 2 incomes. Let's get this 2 income, and let's start traveling and do some big things. So that's what I'm really shooting for. I'm really striving for her to finish her program. It'll be a big deal for our family.
There you go, and I'm sure she's going to do very well, and with your support, backing her and pushing her, she's going to do extremely well. Next Tuesday, September 26th, Tuesday, Madera, California, Mount Vista High School, the former WBC and WBA junior welterweight champion of the world, Jose Carlos Ramirez, will be on campus at 10 a.m. to talk to the students, give a positive message to the students. And Jose Ramirez says, I was giving back to his people, his time, his students. And when I say people, I'm talking about the human race, people that are just like us, Donovan, that, and I'll tell you a little story about Jose. I went to lunch with him one time, and we were in his Ferrari. And I thought he was backing up, and I got out of the car. I said, you want me to get out so you can use 2 parking spaces? And he goes, no, Richard, I'm just like everybody else. All I need is 1 parking space. And that stuck with me, because you see people, they'll take 2 parking spaces and they got a Corvette or they got a truck or what have you. But Jose, his feet are on the ground, and he's going to send that message and give that message Tuesday, Madera, California, Mount Vista High School, the high school students. And, he's always giving back. And we like to give back to Jose too by supporting him and riding with him every step of the way on his way to another title opportunity. It's either going to be against Teofimo Lopez, Arnold Barboza for a vacant belt, or possibly Regis Prograis. If he is successful, taking on Devin Haney. And, there's a lot of opportunities that he has. I know he's at the end of his contract with Top Rank, so he may take that title opportunity either with PVC or Golden Boy. And these are things that we're going to ask him, and these are things that we're going to pick his brain at. And, hey, if you're not a supporter of Donovan, Lights Out Lewis, or Jose Ramirez, I don't know what's wrong with you, man. But as always, you're a class act.
Yeah.
I'm Rich Ortiz, your host of the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. Make sure to follow us on our YouTube at www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. As always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.